A 22-year-old man named Tyler Robinson has been arrested and charged with the murder of your husband. And yet there are a huge number of conspiracy theories, you might call them brain rot.
Every single day, it seems like new online discussion keeps surfacing around Erika Kirk, and this time it's centered on a video that's been spreading fast across social media. Viewers say the clip shows Erika with her mother, Lori, celebrating alongside a man who some believe resembles Tyler Robinson, the individual accused in the case connected to Charlie Kirk's passing. The footage alone has sparked heavy debate, with users replaying it and questioning the context behind what they're seeing. What really intensified the conversation is what followed shortly after the video began circulating. Public court records shared by commentators indicate that Erika submitted a legal filing connected to the case involving Tyler Robinson, requesting that proceedings move forward without unnecessary delay. Legal observers online quickly took notice of the timing, pointing out how closely it lined up with the renewed attention surrounding the video. This is where online opinions start to split. Days after the incident, Erika had publicly spoken about forgiveness and personal healing, which many people interpreted as a message of emotional closure. Because of that, some critics are now questioning why she would support moving the case forward more quickly. Supporters, however, argue that grief and legal processes don't always follow a single path, and that emotional forgiveness doesn't necessarily eliminate a desire for legal resolution. Another topic that keeps resurfacing in these discussions involves a reported request for a financial audit tied to TPUSA, which Erika has publicly disagreed with moving forward. Online commentators note that this issue had already drawn attention before the legal filing, leading some viewers to view the overlap in timing as notable, even though no wrongdoing has been established. Legal analysts have also stepped in to clarify an important point for viewers. Under Utah law and constitutional protections, the right to request or waive a speedy trial belongs to the defendant, not to victims or family members.
Do you believe that Tyler Robinson your husband?
Yes, I do. Again, everyone always has to think there's more to the story. Well, sometimes there's not.
Because of that, some viewers are confused about the purpose of Erika's filing and how it fits into the broader legal process. As a result, online discussion has turned toward interpretation rather than conclusion. Some critics speculate that the move could influence public focus, while others strongly disagree and emphasize that legal filings can be misunderstood outside of courtroom context. Analysts stress that none of these interpretations confirm intent, and that legal strategy often appears different from the outside. What's clear is that the timing, optics, and unanswered questions have kept public interest firmly locked on this case. And until more clarity emerges, the debate across platforms shows no signs of slowing down. Then there's the video itself, which continues to pull people back into the discussion. Some viewers online are questioning why a man who appears similar to Tyler Robinson would be seen celebrating near Erika's family at all, if that resemblance is accurate. Supporters quickly point out that appearances can be misleading and short clips don't provide full context, while critics argue that the optics alone are enough to raise questions.
Driver, you the driver?
Yeah.
Robinson. Can you tell me just really quick what happened?
I was coming this way, and he's just passing through, and he rolled out from here, or no, from there, I think.
Do you remember which lane you were in?
I was in one of those two lanes going this way. I think in the right, in the rightmost lane coming this way.
As the clip spread, online conversation expanded rapidly. Some users began offering broader interpretations, carefully described as speculation, about possible connections or coincidences surrounding the situation. Analysts and commentators were quick to emphasize that none of these ideas are confirmed and should not be treated as established facts. Still, the public response highlights how perception, timing, and uncertainty can dramatically influence how a story is received. Even without clear answers, viewers often form strong opinions based on limited information, especially when emotions and high-profile figures are involved. As discussion continues across platforms, people keep circling back to the same questions. Is this simply a misunderstanding, an unfortunate coincidence, or something that deserves further clarification? The ongoing debate suggests that public interest isn't fading anytime soon. At the same time, many commenters are openly expressing skepticism about the explanation currently being accepted by authorities. A growing number of viewers say the timeline feels incomplete to them, even without turning to extreme or unfounded theories. They argue that unanswered questions naturally lead to doubt, especially when details emerge gradually. The conversation intensified again when an older video from Erika's social media resurfaced. The clip reportedly shows a New Year's celebration from 2018, featuring Erika, her mother Lori, and an unidentified individual some viewers believe resembles Tyler Robinson. Once again, people online began analyzing visual details and debating whether the resemblance is meaningful or coincidental. Following that, some commentators cautiously suggested, without evidence, that Tyler could fit the profile of someone who might be influenced by others. Supporters strongly reject that idea, saying assumptions based on appearance alone are unreliable, while critics say the discussion reflects broader confusion surrounding the case. All of this brings the conversation back to one central tension. Erika previously spoke publicly about forgiveness and personal healing, yet now appears to support a legal process moving forward decisively. Commentators note that grief, justice, and legal timelines don't always align neatly, which is why this contrast continues to fuel debate. Online observers also picked up on the fact that Erika submitted a legal filing supporting a faster timeline in the case, while at the same time raising concerns about delays from Tyler Robinson's defense team. That combination immediately caught attention, especially among legal commentators who pointed out that the authority to control trial speed ultimately rests with the accused, not with victims or family members. Because of that, some viewers felt the filing created confusion about how much influence the family actually has over the legal process. Legal analysts online emphasize that filings can serve many purposes and don't always reflect direct control, but they also acknowledged why the optics sparked debate. Another detail drawing discussion is Erika's choice of legal counsel. Commentators noted that her attorney has previously represented high-profile clients in widely discussed cases, which naturally increased public curiosity. Analysts were quick to stress that hiring a particular lawyer is not evidence of misconduct, though they admit such associations often invite extra scrutiny in the court of public opinion. Legal experts have continued stepping in to clarify the fundamentals. Under the law, the right to request or waive a speedy trial belongs exclusively to the defendant. Only Tyler Robinson has the authority to accelerate or delay proceedings, which leaves many viewers asking what role Erika's filing actually plays within the broader legal framework. That question has fueled a wider discussion about timing and perception. Critics online argue that faster legal timelines can shape public understanding by limiting how much information emerges over time. Supporters push back, saying quicker resolutions can also reduce speculation and bring emotional closure during highly charged situations. On the other hand, commentators note that slower cases often allow more room for additional information to surface. Extended timelines can lead to new documents, witnesses, or perspectives entering the conversation, which can significantly alter how a situation is viewed. Because of this, timing itself has become a major point of focus across platforms. All of this is unfolding alongside renewed discussion about a reported request for a financial audit tied to TPUSA. Erika has publicly disagreed with moving forward on that request, which has kept financial transparency in the spotlight. Critics say the overlap between legal developments and financial questions feels notable, while supporters argue the connections are being overstated. As these debates continue, attention has also shifted toward independent analysis of publicly available financial filings. Online researchers and commentators say they've been reviewing documents related to TPUSA, and their interpretations have added another layer to the ongoing scrutiny. According to several online breakdowns, critics describe the organization's financial structure as unconventional. One analysis of public records suggests funds may circulate largely within internal operations rather than producing clearly visible external outcomes. Supporters counter that advocacy work isn't always easy to measure, which is why the discussion remains unresolved. What's clear is that questions around timing, transparency, and perception continue to drive the conversation forward. And until clearer explanations emerge, online debate shows no sign of slowing down. Based on publicly available figures being discussed across social media, online commentators have been analyzing how TPUSA's reported revenue is allocated. According to these discussions, roughly $8.5 million in revenue has been cited, with a significant portion reportedly going toward salaries, while additional funds were used for conferences and organized events. This breakdown is where criticism begins to intensify. Some analysts online interpret the numbers as showing an organization that reinvests heavily into its own operations, including staffing and event promotion. Supporters respond by saying this is common for advocacy groups, especially those focused on outreach and messaging rather than direct services. Another topic frequently raised in these discussions is event structure. Critics claim many conferences relied more on invited speakers and visibility than on traditional ticket-based attendance. According to this perspective, events were designed to increase awareness and donor engagement rather than generate profit from ticket sales.
Devastating loss of Charlie Kirk, my incredible husband at UVU. Caleb has persisted with the same grit. It has been a long day. Trust me, you're not a grifter, honey. It's all good.
That observation has led to a broader question being raised online. What tangible outcomes does TPUSA produce in support of the broader conservative movement? Commentators argue that when results are difficult to measure, financial transparency naturally becomes a larger point of focus. Compensation has also become part of the debate. Critics note that some executive salaries appear relatively high compared to the visible outcomes of the organization's efforts. Supporters counter that leadership compensation often reflects experience, scale, and responsibility, even when results are not immediately visible to the public. Some online discussions have also revisited moments from past public appearances, interpreting certain comments as potentially more revealing than originally thought. Analysts stress these interpretations are speculative and subjective, but say they continue to feed into a broader pattern that some viewers believe they're noticing. Another financial detail has drawn significant attention as well. Based on publicly accessible tax documents being circulated online, a large portion of TPUSA's assets appears to be held in publicly traded securities. Commentators suggest this could represent a substantial percentage of the organization's overall assets, though supporters say this reflects long-term financial planning strategies. What further fueled discussion is that more recent statements reportedly show increased total asset values. Critics interpret this as unusual for an advocacy organization, while supporters emphasize that asset growth doesn't necessarily conflict with mission-driven goals. Across all sides of the debate, one theme keeps surfacing. The issue isn't legality, but transparency and trust. When an organization positions itself as values-driven, audiences naturally want clarity on how resources are managed. So now the conversation keeps circling back to a central question. Is TPUSA primarily focused on advancing ideas or sustaining its internal structure?
My name is Joshua Peterson. I worked for Turning Point USA and Turning Point USA Faith, and I knew Charlie Kirk personally. I want to say on the record that there was an inner circle at Turning Point USA that was constantly working against Charlie and his interests and what he wanted to do, as well as there was a Jewish influence in Turning Point that he was not very fond of, that he wanted to get rid of. He tried doing this, he tried creating a Doge department, and he gets assassinated. Another thing that makes me believe this inner circle was constantly working against Charlie was because of the fact that he had a whole entire branch of Turning Point that he had no idea about, and that was the stock market branch.
Share your thoughts below, because as more people review public information, this discussion continues to grow louder. Just when many people thought the financial discussion around TPUSA had reached its peak, online conversation intensified again after reports surfaced that a former employee had spoken out. According to commentators discussing the situation, this individual shared claims that appeared to align with concerns already being raised through reviews of publicly available financial records.
Now, the thing about this branch is it's been getting millions of dollars poured into it over the past 4 years now, and that's been seen through their latest tax returns. This stock market group that Turning Point has been throwing millions of dollars into the stock market for the past 4 years now, and Charlie Kirk had no knowledge of that whatsoever. Now, if you also look into it a little bit deeper, if you look at the staff on that branch specifically, it says 0. It says there's nobody employed in that branch, yet they're pouring $5 million into funds for employees. Make it make sense. That sounds like money laundering to me. It sounds like there's some pyramid scheme going on behind the scenes at Turning Point that Charlie did not know about originally. And I think that he was planning to expose that, and that's ultimately what got him killed.
What drew even more attention is that this former insider reportedly suggested Charlie himself had questions about how the organization's finances were being managed. At the same time, the source allegedly claimed that Charlie may not have been fully aware of internal disagreements or decision-making happening behind the scenes. Analysts stress these statements are secondhand accounts and have not been independently verified. That claim immediately sparked debate online. Critics questioned how someone serving as president of an organization could remain unaware of where a large portion of its assets were held. Commentators say it's difficult to reconcile leadership responsibility with a lack of detailed financial oversight, especially when large sums are involved. Because of that, online discussion has largely narrowed to two broad interpretations. Some speculate that certain financial decisions may have been made internally without full transparency, while others suggest Charlie may have been more aware than previously believed but chose not to take a public role in those decisions. Analysts emphasize these are interpretations, not conclusions. This uncertainty has led many viewers to ask broader questions. When financial structures are unclear, critics argue it naturally opens the door to speculation about what else might be happening out of public view. Supporters counter that internal disagreements are common in large organizations and don't automatically signal misconduct. As the discussion continues, attention keeps returning to timing. Some online commentators suggest that growing financial scrutiny has overlapped with a push to resolve legal matters efficiently. Others strongly disagree, saying it's unfair to connect legal timelines with unrelated financial debates. Still, analysts observing public reaction note that many viewers remain unconvinced by simplified explanations. Rather than focusing on one individual, some online voices are calling for closer examination of organizational structure, leadership, and donor transparency. These viewpoints remain opinions, but analysts point out how quickly trust can shift in high-profile situations. This debate has taken on added weight given Erika's role as the current CEO of TPUSA. Commentators note that public confidence and donor support often depend on transparency during moments of controversy. While supporters believe the organization can weather scrutiny, critics argue ongoing questions could impact trust over time. Ultimately, analysts say this situation highlights a larger pattern in public discourse. When unanswered questions stack up, perception begins to matter as much as documented facts. Until clearer explanations emerge, discussion around leadership, transparency, and timing is likely to continue unfolding across platforms. At this point, people online aren't just reacting to a single legal case anymore. The conversation has clearly expanded into broader questions about leadership, transparency, and how influential organizations manage public perception when unanswered questions continue to stack up. So viewers keep asking the same thing. What's really behind the urgency, the careful wording, and the long silences? Is this about closure, protecting reputations, or simply trying to keep control of a rapidly shifting narrative? These are questions being debated openly across platforms, and they don't appear to be going away anytime soon. Even among those who aren't convinced by claims suggesting manipulation or outside influence, many viewers say the official explanation still feels incomplete. Commentators argue there are gaps in the timeline, unresolved inconsistencies, and areas that haven't been explained in a way that satisfies public curiosity. Online discussions frequently highlight similar concerns. People point to details they feel were unclear, information they believe deserved more attention, and moments where communication seemed rushed or vague. Analysts stress these are public perceptions, not verified conclusions, but they also note that confusion tends to grow when clarity is limited. What seems to be driving skepticism isn't a single allegation, it's the overall pattern. When stories rely heavily on urgency or limited disclosure, audiences naturally begin to ask who benefits from fewer questions being asked. Supporters emphasize the need for patience and restraint, while critics argue patience has already been tested. This is why the discussion continues to evolve. Viewers aren't demanding definitive answers or taking sides. They're asking for transparency, accountability, and clearer explanations. Until that happens, debate and analysis are likely to remain active across social media and commentary spaces. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think the questions being raised are fair, or do you feel the situation is being overanalyzed? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments, because this conversation clearly isn't slowing down. If you found this breakdown useful, make sure to like the video, share it, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. There's more celebrity drama already lined up, and the next video on your screen dives into another situation that's stirring up just as much online discussion. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.